believe it or not, this is a historic site. This is where Mugge Hall existed, and in 1895 shut down Brooklyn. There was a transit strike. The National Guard had to be called out to stop the strikers. They brought out bayonets. People were shot and killed. It was the largest strike of its kind, I believe, in the country, certainly in New York at that time. Huge historic moment with an important moment of transforming New York City. But like, people were getting shot and killed and bayoneted in the street, and it all started because of the union activity. I believe it was Knights of Labor were met in that hall over there. So an important moment in union history. This neighborhood, I'm in downtown Brooklyn right now, and the next stop over here is going to be the site, another important historic site. This is where Everett Hall stood. It was a major political and social meeting point of the African American leaders. Right over here, it is now a subway station entrance, the J Street Metrotech entrance. Nothing to recognize that this was a African American political club that met over here. The next stop is, so we're walking down Willoughby, approaching Duffield. The next stop is the corner of Willoughby and Duffield. Was one of the important locations for William Gloucester. He had his business was on this corner over here. I'm actually not sure which corner he was on, but it was one of the corners over here. Down the block that way, about a half a block, was where Concord Baptist Church met. Also another incredibly important point for many decades. And Concord Baptist Church still exists. It remains one of the most important African American churches. It moved to Bed-Stuy, as a lot of churches did. And as I walk down here, we're walking on Duffield. This is the site of our proposed Sisters in Freedom Monument. So there was a lot of suffragists who were also very active around here. Black suffragists, the first black suffrage club met around here. Ida B. Wells is probably the most famous of them all, but she was one of many. She came here because of a lot of the other activists who lived here. One of them who lived before her time was Harriet Truesdale, who was at in the early women's anti-slavery movement. The women were not allowed in the suffrage movement. So she lived here. This is 227 Duffield, which, as you can see, is getting some major reconstruction. They're finally bolstering it up. I'm going to make sure that they're not throwing out anything important here. So Harriet Truesdale lived here with her husband, Thomas Truesdale, and we worked to save it, and now we're keeping an eye on it to make sure that it remains safe. And more pictures to come. Thank you.